Change is constant. So how do you deal with this? Particularly given that changing your plans often amounts to doing nothing, or sometimes even doing something is better than doing nothing. I think the correct response is, are we flexible or are we adaptable? Understanding that you have to modify your plans anytime if you are flexible, but sometimes having plans means doing something or nothing at all.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today in this video, just kind of wanted to go over a couple of like mental health tips or mental toughness pointers and tips of kind of just things that I don't know if you've ever gone through where you kind of get worked up in your thoughts, where sometimes doing nothing leads to doing something that wasn't planned originally, or vice versa. You're doing something that you're supposed to be doing, and then you end up doing nothing. And I don't know if it's just like these weird mental blocks, like you're hitting a wall in a way. And it's usually all these insecurities that start coming in like your brain, where you start overthinking certain things, anxiety, stress, and all these different elements added on to, the layering of all this mental toughness or mental barriers that we're trying to break through. So today in this video, I just wanted to kind of go over them with you guys. Always try to think of something I haven't done on my channel, but anybody out there listening for this, this is for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. So check it out.
The back. I'm not a doctor. These are all from books that I've read in my past, and I've just kind of wanted to do something different, just kind of share some knowledge with you guys. I just feel like it's one of those things that I've never done. I've never shared any kind of emotional or mental, tips, I guess you would say. But also they're like, it's just like those mental struggles that we're all struggling with. And it's pretty much all in my notes. Like I have stuff written down, and again, books that I've read from real doctors and stuff, but I just kind of wanted to share something with you guys today. So pretty much the first tip that I have is embracing change. I think what I mean by that is that change is always inevitable, and it happens in all areas, in your life, it's from personal matters to your work problems, there's things that are always going to shift and alter and change, and I think that's why there's always some sort of like a change in your routine, or a change in your goals, a change in your ability, or some kind of change that is already set in stone, you know what I mean? Or it could be numerous changes in your life, and that word, what's that word? Resilience, that mental toughness, struggle with change. And I think that's, the frustrating part is that we always feel the uncomfortable, and there's lots of direction and ability, to navigate to something new. And I think that's where we have to start. It's embracing the change. And then again, it always goes back to when you fear something, it starts with you first saying yes or no, and you can always say no to the things that you don't want to do in your life. And if you're not great at saying no, sometimes like I am, sometimes I think it's always been my downfall, is sometimes I just don't know how to say no to people sometimes, or whatever, and I'm trying to figure out what is the real way to get better at that, and by like practicing and saying like small things to people, if they're not really genuine or important, gets easier, and the more you can say no to bigger, things and more important things, I think eventually that's when I don't have to feel obligated to do something, and that's something I'm practicing on, is like trying to honor like also my boundaries, and you shouldn't feel guilty for managing your own stress, which leads up to my next tip, which is, managing your stress. And stress it's a constant struggle. I think that we all struggle with, like, are we gonna go eat at Chico's, or are we gonna go eat at McDonald's? Like it's a constant like, oh, we got up today, what am I gonna wear those shoes today, or am I gonna wear this shirt today? It's just stupid little stressful things that we put ourselves in. And I think the source of stress, like it can be like psychological, it could be physical, and having severe stress can cause, like fatigue, and you feel like you're going to burn out. And that's something I'm trying to, channel better. I think the body is programmed to handle, certain immediate, stressful situations by, choosing whether to, run with this or fight with this, or completely just run away. That's something that, like I've been trying to get better at, is having to embracing your failure in a way. And that's the thing, you're always going to fail. Everyone is going to fail in something. And in fact, it's just a fact of life. The goal is to pretty much be open, but also learn from your mistakes. And you can look at an experience like in two ways. You failed it and did not meet your goal, or you were open to, a successful goal or whatever. And then you learn many valuable lessons from it along the way. And then you can still use it towards your future or some sort of like endeavors, in your life. And either way, you still learn something from it, even if you didn't decide to go with it, or you did. You still get something out of it no matter what. And also another tip is practicing that self-care. I think when you genuinely take care of yourself and your needs, physically, mentally, and spiritually, it becomes a lot easier for you to endure, pretty much all the crazy stuff that life throws at you, and then again, like the stress is always coming in the most inconvenient parts of your life, and it's pretty much just pushing you further into fear. And I think we have to try and find that, that peace inside of us. And I think that's something I'm still working on. I'm really still trying to find that inner peace. Like, what's his name says in Kung Fu Panda, Master Oogway, inner peace. Inner peace. I think the biggest thing too is it's always like when you're at war with yourself, when you're not letting go of your well-being, fall short, like your mind, your body, and your soul, you have to go through all these struggles in life, and life's gonna always throw, life's gonna throw lemons, or life's gonna throw you wild cards. Basically, it's gonna throw you the unknown, and that's how I feel. I always fear the unknown, but it's because I'm trying to practice that self-care, that inner peace, you know what I mean? Which leads me to the next tip, is learning from your mistakes and letting go. And when you commit to a mistake, it should see it as a chance to learn something new, and your mistakes don't defy you, and I think if you're gonna make sure that next time, you know how to ensure everything goes right, maybe it won't turn out a certain way that you think. And it ties into also improving yourself, and that's the thing, you can't please everyone. Some people may disagree with your possessions, or your title of your job, or your career, your clothes, or certain stupid little things in life. And that doesn't mean like the people around you don't like you. It's just what you want is having genuine relationships. And I think that's something I'm trying to be myself, but also trying to also stop pleasing others, and I think that's the mental energy that all of us are, when we're around people and environments, those are the things that we feed off. And we gotta also tweak, almost like self-talk, and we have to switch the whole negative to positive, and that's something again that I'm really trying to work on. And it's hard because it's again, it's all those negative thoughts in your head, turning the car into oncoming traffic is counterproductive, but it sounds easy at first, right? But it's just the mental part, is that, we have so much negativity in our self-talk already. And I think that's the thing, is because we're already programming our brains to be like that, which is a habit we need to break. And, you have to kind of rewire your brain. You have to start thinking more positive, and start coming up with more truthful affirmations, when you have anxiety or stressful situations or panic attacks, you know what I mean? And that's something that can be, overlooked at sometimes, but the thing is bad habits never last forever, and I think that's, everything that we have, it's in our brain. We have the ability to switch, the negativity to the positivity. It's almost like, again, when you tell those bad habits and you turn them into good habits, it's almost like, it's like a small goal, or it's like a small win, and the small wins always pay off. And that's something I'm trying to get better at, is, one of the most important ideas is to like kind of remember the small things in life. And you know, every time you excelled at something else, or you're doing something better, you know, that you did before, you go further than you thought you could, you know, and then you're building more mental like awareness and mental toughness that eventually just kind of transform in your life. And I think that's something that you're trying to neutralize, you know, trying to take out the toxic effects, you know, in your life. And that's why, like, for me, it's like we're always constantly worried about like what you learn and how to be happy with what you have, you know, is take every day as pretty much as a gift and don't take it for granted, you know. And when you appreciate the good things of your life, like even the good parts of who you are, like your personality, you know, you can pursue like self-improvement, and you know, like it kind of will help you with your sense of pride, like me. And then you know, kind of work on your optimism and, you know, who you want to become, and begin to like start fulfilling your true potential as a, you know, as a human, you know, as a person that you want to become, you know. So anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to again share some of my tips on books and things that I've written down. And I just kind of, I don't know why, I just wanted to share something, I guess, different and useful, or, you know, if you don't take it, you know, no harm, no foul. But, you know, it's just one of those things that I just kind of felt like I needed to share. I don't know what it was, but yeah, hopefully you guys like this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So keep on chasing.